Hey,
I'm Christina.
I'm Mary.
And
We're
this
the
is Southern Prosperity Podcast. That was good.
Welcome. Yeah. We've been talking about the 12-step program.
We have. And we've already went through steps 1 through 6.
Mm-hmm.
And if you have not seen those videos, make sure to go over there and click on those so you can see those awesome videos, because there's a lot that we covered. Yeah. I'm going to just briefly recap and let you know that this is the 12-step program that y'all know as AA. I want you to understand that it's not just about the addictions that you know about. It could be about a bunch of other things, and these 12 steps will actually help you become whole in your entire life.
So true.
And it will help you become a better person, a better Christian, have more faith in whatever your God is. And so that's what we're here to talk about, how to use this as a support.
Yes.
As a guide.
Guidelines for just a healthy life, emotionally, mentally, especially if you are dealing with addiction or compulsions or living with someone. Al-Anon is a 12-step program for friends and families of alcoholics or addicts. AA is Alcoholics Anonymous. There's so many 12-step programs out there. There's one geared for whatever you're dealing with. And whether you do something online or get into a physical group with a group of people in your area, we're from a very small community, and they even started a 12-step program up at our community center.
They did?
Were you aware of that?
No, when?
Yeah. Several years ago.
Oh.
And then they just recently
brought it back?
Started
good.
doing a meeting again.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, it really is very helpful. But we have gone through the first 6 steps. And again, this was started back in the 30s by 2 men that were alcoholics, and they became sober. And they looked into the Holy Bible and came up with these 12 steps that helped them gain some clarity as to where they were and how they could get to be healthy. And then as they were meeting as men in groups, their wives started meeting together, and then they called their group Al-Anon, which is for friends and families of alcoholics or addicts. And that's where I was introduced to the 12 steps later in my life, because I had grown up in some kind of dysfunction. We're the Southern Prosperity Podcast.
Yes, we are.
I had a neighbor that after years of sobriety had started drinking again, and his wife came to me and said, I really need some help. There's a group. Let's go talk to them and see what's going on. And it just really became a wonderful way of life. There's a lot of literature out there that you can buy books. You can Google, find anything online about these. But we're going to start with step 7. And it says, humbly ask him, talking about God, to remove our shortcomings. So we've gone through the powerlessness of addiction, that the first 3 steps are just kind of condensed into I can't, God can, and I'm going to let him. And then going into a searching and fearless moral inventory of yourself is step 4. And you go on down and you get to this part where step 7, you're asking God to remove these shortcomings. We've done an inventory of what we're doing in our life, not anybody else's life, because this is geared to becoming self-aware of your actions and your shortcomings, whether you're having addiction in your life, or if you are acting out because of an addiction or a compulsion in someone else's life. It affects us all. And so step 7, humbly ask him to remove our shortcomings. And that is confession. Basically, going to God and confessing your sins or your shortcomings.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I was thinking more like my shortcomings are the things that I don't do, but I should do. Meaning like I don't actually clean like I'm supposed to.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
don't.
There are things in our life that we should be doing that we're not doing. That's
Mhm.
exactly right.
I don't go to church on Sunday like I'm supposed to.
That's a good one. Yeah.
Those things.
Yeah. So step 7 is just asking God. We've admitted all of these through the prior steps, and now we're asking Him to help us to overcome these, remove these things from our life, or help us start doing the things that we know that we should be doing. And these were all biblical based. That's where Dr. Bob and Bill W., the founding men that came up with these 12 steps, they got them from biblical verses. And then we get into step 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. Now that if you have been in addiction or even living with someone that is an addiction, you know that you have done things that are not the best choices. I mean, as women with spouses, now these are just stories you hear through groups like those 12-step programs I was talking about, where you get into a group of women or men, and there's co-ed where they're men and women together. But they do encourage, when you have a mentor, when you choose a mentor, to choose a mentor of your same sex as you, just to prevent any problems that could occur and that were more like-minded. Women kind of deal with the same issues women deal with, and men with men. But you are made a list of persons. We have all harmed people in our life, whether we have lied to them or stolen from them or there's so many issues.
The only thing I do is I hurt people's feelings.
Yeah.
Because I don't have empathy, maybe?
Yeah.
Is it empathy?
It could be, yeah.
I don't really care how they feel if it's the truth. And that is more than likely a sin. Is it a sin?
Well,
because I do it all the time.
If you hurt someone's feelings, even if it is the truth, it is not a bad idea to be more empathetic and say, you know, I understand where you're coming from.
I mean, I can understand why you could feel this way, but at the same time, it's just reality, and you made those choices. I mean, and you know, there's nothing that we can do about that now. You just have to move on.
Other than saying, I'm sorry that I hurt your feelings.
I mean, I'm sorry that you think I hurt your feelings. That's how that goes. I'm sorry that you think I hurt your feelings, but
it's not really an apology.
I know, but because I have to actually feel it. Because if I apologize for something that I don't actually feel apologetic for,
you shouldn't apologize.
I feel like I'm lying.
Well,
yes.
you shouldn't apologize. That's right. So you shouldn't.
So that's why I would say I'm sorry that you feel that way.
When you get to a point where you realize the shortcomings in your life, there are people that you have hurt.
I'm sure, yeah.
And went through this moral searching and moral inventory that we have done. This fearless and searching moral inventory, we can list those people that we have hurt, and we should be willing to make amends to those people. And then in in step 9, you make direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. So you've humbly asked God to remove your shortcomings in step 7. In step 8, you made a list of the people that you have harmed through your addiction. And Christina, you are not an addict. I mean, you haven't really dealt with drug addiction or alcoholism, and you may not have grown up in that kind of dysfunction. So you may not have all of these items that come up, but so many people have.
Right.
I mean, you know, it's real easy to come home to an alcoholic spouse who has done nothing all day but sit around and drink or do whatever their dysfunction is, and you come in and just start screaming and throwing a fit, and I mean, it's just adding to the dysfunction.
What about gluttony? Isn't that a sin?
Yeah,
And that is when you indulge and
that's overeating.
overeating.
And there's Overeating Anonymous.
And what else? Just overeating? Gluttony?
Gluttony is, I don't know, that gluttony in the Bible is overeating. But I believe that gluttony can be any overconsumption of anything. I mean, we can Google the word gluttony.
Whenever you said when you come home and they've been on the couch eating, I mean not eating, drinking.
Yeah,
I originally thought of eating,
Yeah.
like, because there are people that don't work and their spouse works and they stay at home and
Yeah.
they watch TV, they eat,
and they are not doing the
They do
things
whatever
that they are supposed to be doing.
basically whatever they want. And then at the end of the day, they will hurry up and get the dishes done and do the laundry because they have to, or their spouse will condemn them or whatever.
Yeah.
So, and I feel that whenever I was off work taking care of the baby. Keep in mind, I was only off for 4 weeks or 6 weeks or whatever. But I felt that, but that's a different story because, you know, I had all the taking care of the baby and pumping and feeding
then you were
and all that too.
And then you felt like you were responsible to take care of the house chores too.
Yeah.
That's a lot on one person. But yes, that is one of the things when a spouse comes home and sees something that he or she thinks should have been done, then that's why there's Al-Anon for friends and families of the ones that are acting out.
All right, and there's a Bible verse for step
8 and 9.
8 and 9, okay.
Step 9 is where we make direct amends to such people because we've made a list of all the people we've harmed. And then we're going to make direct amends to those people wherever possible, except when to do so could injure them or others.
So if they're suicidal, you do not.
That's right. What if it's something that happened to you when you were young? Like a sexual abuse or something like that. And now that person is gone away in another state. They're married. They have children. Would it benefit you or them? Would it hurt them or their family if you were to confront them? I mean, that's why it's saying, except when to do so could harm them or others.
But what if they need to be harmed because they harmed you to beginning with?
Is that going to make anything better?
What if they're still doing it?
Well, that is a decision that needs to be made. But what if that was just a one-time thing when they were a young teenager and you know now that their life is in a better position? They have repented. Maybe they're going to church. I don't know. This is an individual thing.
Okay.
There is verses that go with step 8 and 9 in Matthew 5:23-24 that states, therefore, if you are offering your gift at the altar, in other words, when you're bringing your tithe or offering to the church, and there you remember that your brother has something against you, leave your gift there in front of the altar. First go and be reconciled to your brother, then come and offer your gift.
Okay.
So what this is explaining in the Bible is if you, and we talked about this in a different podcast.
We did. I've heard, yeah. What was this again?
About forgiveness. And this is, if you are going to make a list of people you've harmed, you realize that There are things in your life that you have done that are wrong,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to make amends to that person whenever it's safe. Now,
Mm-hmm.
this is, if they're out there still, I don't know, a murderer or something, then
Mm-hmm.
you may not feel safe. I mean, that's kind of where this is all encompassing, except when to do so would injure them or others.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if it would hurt you or hurt others or them to confront them, then it may not be safe to do something like that. Confessing that to God and to that other person and to yourself in those earlier steps may be enough to get you over this hurdle.
Okay.
And that's basically what the verse says, is if you remember that you have something, some sin against someone else,
Mm-hmm.
or they have sinned against you, then it's better to confront them.
Mm-hmm.
If like verse 9 or step 9 says, if it is safe,
Mm-hmm.
then it is better to go and be reconciled to that person before you go offering gifts to the Lord. Because he doesn't want us coming to him when we've got anger or bitterness or unforgiveness in our life. He wants
Mm-hmm.
us to deal with that. God wants us to deal with that before we start offering anything to him, ourselves, our service,
Mm-hmm.
our money.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's part of what the verse is talking about. Leave your gift at the altar and go be reconciled to that person. And so these steps 7 through 9 are talking about the same thing. We've asked God to remove our shortcomings, forgive our sins. We've made a list of people that we have harmed through the years of our compulsion or addiction, or even if you're friends and families of alcoholics, we still have actions that we have done.
Mm-hmm.
And we feel maybe at the time that they were warranted.
Mm-hmm.
To come home and throw a fit because things weren't the way you thought they should be, because you're living with an addict.
Mm-hmm.
And then once you realize and make this list, then you can make amends to such people where it is safe.
Awesome. And remember, guys, whenever you go over this list, like she said, not everything's always going to necessarily be something that you absolutely need to do, depending on what you've done in the past.
Mm-hmm.
But also remember what they are, because I know that perspective is a big deal. And, a year or two from now, I can reflect back and be like, I did not actually think I did any of these things wrong. But now that I'm looking back on my actions and the things that I've done and the way I made other people feel and what I've learned from studying the Bible and doing things like that, I can probably say, I probably should have known that I was doing this and that these people should have been on that list. But as of right now, it seems like I have a blinder on, but I have the know-how, the perspective, or the knowledge that just because I don't see it now doesn't mean it's not true. Does that make sense?
Yes, and I do want to say that Christina is just now learning. She's never even read the 12 steps.
Never.
So this is her first experience to go through this.
Yeah.
And this is something that I've studied for years.
And to be honest, I have dyslexia, and so reading the Bible is really hard for me, because when she reads the quotes, I don't perceive it the same way you do or other people do. And then whenever they explain it to me, it doesn't always make sense.
Yeah.
And then that's whenever I question the translation and stuff like that.
I would really encourage all people, especially if you have issues with reading or understanding what you read. There are apps on our phones. We carry a little computer in our hand. Get you an app that reads the Bible to you.
Yeah.
You get you an app that speaks the word, and that might be an easier way for you to learn.
Yeah. It's not just it's also the way that they talk.
Oh yeah.
You know?
There's so many different
So
translations.
it's like I really need to just do like the study Bibles that actually explains it.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Well, yes,
Yeah.
because I do. I
Mhm.
read. I love the New Living Translation, NLT.
Yeah.
It's a newer version that is just everyday language, and I do read a study Bible that explains even further what that passage means.
Yeah.
It gives you the background of it. So that is a very good point, Christina.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll get into the next 3 steps. Stay with us.
Awesome. Well, I hope y'all enjoyed. Remember, we had 2 other videos. We had steps 1 through 3.
Yep.
Then we had another video that was 4, 5, and 6. Mm-hmm. And this video is 7, 8, and 9.
Yep.
And we have one more video, guys. If you've not watched those, please go back. This is the next video right here.
Yes. And we're wishing you prosperity in every area of your life.
Bye, guys.
We're the Southern Prosperity Podcast.
Yes, we are.